everybody, welcome to another week of Pilates plus Physio. You need your yoga mat, your brick, your elastic band or belt or tie, and maybe a small thin book or a little rolled up towel to pop underneath your head if you normally use one. So we're going to start off lying down on the mat. So come down to the floor. So just lying on your back, knees bent, feet down flat on the ground, and just really take a moment to just feel which bits of your feet are actually in contact with the floor. So the heels, maybe along the outside of your foot, little toe down on the ground, big toe on the floor, big toe joint, just sitting comfortably on the mat. Maybe just roll the feet in and out a couple of times. So just gently shifting the pressure outside of the foot, inside of the foot. Not taking your foot off the ground, just rolling across the bottom of the foot there. And just come back into the middle. You've got the knees bent, back of the thighs nice and relaxed. Front of the hips soft. Just think now of letting your back sort of melt down into the mat a little. Maybe place one hand on your tummy, other one on your chest, just underneath your neck, so you probably can feel your collarbones. Just come down a little bit lower than that. And just gently focus on your breathing. So don't change anything. We're not doing a massive big breath or anything. Just gently feeling with your hands. Maybe feel which hand is moving the most. Is it the tummy hand? Is it the top hand? And then see if you can maybe just gently direct your breath underneath the tummy hand. So just as you breathe in, your tummy gently comes up. And as you breathe out, your tummy goes down. So gentle breaths. And then maybe see if you can breathe into the back of the ribs. So the bit that's touching the mat underneath you. And just sort of filling up. Imagine your lungs are like a balloon. You're just filling up the base of the balloon. That's good. So remember, we're not doing any enormous, massive breaths. We're not holding your breath. Just normal breathing, but trying to get the air right down into the bottom of the lungs. So maybe pop your arms down on the mat beside you. We're going to just work into a spine curl. So think about the little gap between your lower back and the mat. And you're just gently going to flatten your back into the floor. And then release. So if you had a marble sitting on your lower tummy, you're rolling the marble towards your belly button. And then you're rolling back down again. Just coming back to sort of level pelvis. So you're not arching your back off the mat. You're just flattening down and releasing. And then maybe start just working your way up the spine. So maybe come up a tiny bit so your tailbone is almost coming off the floor. Next time, come up a little bit further. Even pressure through your feet. So you're just getting each little joint in your back moving, one joint at a time. Coming up and releasing. Pressing into your feet. Up a little bit further. So remember, if it's painful, just stick with the very lowest level. A little bit more. Maybe starting to work up into sort of back of the ribs area, middle back. As you go down, imagine you're just placing your back back down on the mat on exactly the same line as you came up on. So you're not squeaking from side to side, just nice and smooth. Coming up a little bit higher. And releasing. One bone at a time as you go down. Nice one for just really getting your back moving. So when you're up at the top, you should still be able to gently roll your head from side to side. You're not coming up so high that you're getting pressure through your neck. Lovely. Maybe next time come up. If you can, take the arms right back over the top of your head. Leave your arms there now. Roll your bottom back down again. When you're all the way down, bring the arms back over. So you're pressing into the feet, curl up. Sore shoulders, you could just take the arms up towards the ceiling rather than all the way back. Otherwise, arms right the way back. Leave the arms there, roll your bottom down. Remember, you're not going to get quite as much feeling of one bone at a time coming down because you're tightening up that big muscle that's going from your shoulders down onto the pelvis. Arms coming back over. And again, curl your bottom up. Float the arms back. Nice and smooth. Roll all the way down. And come back. And again. Curl your bottom up. Roll the arms back. And come back down. Great. Bring the arms back. Bring your knees up to your chest one at a time. Ankles crossed, hold the knees. Gently rock your knees towards your chest. So nice, gentle knee rocking. Lovely. Pop the legs back down again. Arms out to the sides. If you can, palms up, a little bit lower than your shoulders. So just check where your hands are. Make sure you haven't got them too high. Knees together, ankles together. We're doing a knee roll from side to side. So knees going one way, head going the opposite way. You could turn your palm down, look at the hand. Come back up. Head going one way, knees going the other way, palm down. Come back up. So you could stick with that. If you want to make it stronger, you could slightly flatten your back into the mat, float one leg up, float the other leg up. So you've got a hip, right angle at the hip, right angle at the knees. Same thing, knees going one way, head the opposite way, palm down on the hand you're looking at. Use the tummy, pull back up. Knees going one way, head going the other way, and back up. Remember, if you're generally quite stiff, you're often better keeping the feet on the floor because you get more movement. You'll keep thinking of anchoring the back of your shoulders on the mat. So just watch you're not going so far with the knees that the shoulder comes off. Knees staying at a right angle. Quite often people let the feet drop. So see if you can keep your feet up. And just stick with the level you're comfortable with. There's no point in working too hard and just finding you're bringing in all sorts of different muscles. So stick with the level you're happy with, that's fine. That's great. Okay. Gather up the legs. Maybe cross the other ankle in front this time. So if you can remember which one you did last time, do the other one. So if you're normally right over left, do left over right. Hold the knees, a little bit more gentle rocking. Lovely. Pop the feet down. We're going to do an oblique curl up next. If you've got a sore neck and you don't want to do lifting your head, maybe keep going with that knee rolling one that we've just done from side to side. Otherwise, place your hands underneath your head. Could interlink the fingers slightly. Let the elbows drop right back to the floor if they will. And then maybe take the elbows up towards the sky. And open them right back out again. And again, elbows up to the sky, open them right out. Okay, keep the elbows back, tuck in the chin, engage your pelvic floor muscles, Think of coming up and across, front of the shoulder towards the opposite hip. And release all the way down. And again, little chin nod. So one elbow staying back on the floor, other one back where you can hardly see it. And release all the way down. And again, little chin nod, come up and across. And release down. And again, tuck in the chin, come up and across. And release down. And again, little chin nod, up and across. So crisscross tummy muscles doing the work. Sore necks, don't do too many. Quite a good idea to try a few because it actually works, you know, it's quite good to keep those neck muscles working. Keep them nice and strong, help support your neck. Up and across. And release down. Little chin nod, up and across. And release down. Couple more. Up and across. And down. And again. Up and across. And down. Fantastic. Rest your head down. Maybe just take your nose in little tiny circles, about the size of a golf ball, start off with. And then maybe make the circle bigger, about a tennis ball. And then going on to about the size of a football. Nice and slow. And then start going the other way, football size to start with. Little circles, come down to tennis ball size. And finally, golf ball size. Lovely. Okay, and then turn over onto your side. So underneath arm, up above your head if it goes there. If it won't go, arm in front, head resting on the brick. Legs out straight. Make sure you can just see your feet when you look down. Look back to the front. I'm going to do a side leg lift. So point the toes, top leg up. Pull your foot up, press out through the heel as you come down. So side of the buttock, side of the thigh doing the work. Point the toes, top leg up. Foot up, press out through the heel as you come down. Normal breathing. Nice gap between your ear and your shoulder on the top. So just watch that that shoulder isn't starting to join in to compensate for weak side of the buttock muscles. That top hand is just for a little bit of balance. Normal breaths. That's great. Okay. Then we're going to do the underneath leg. So you either need to put your top leg behind you, foot on the mat, knee sort of pointing to the ceiling if you can. Or if that feels really awkward, you might want to get your yoga brick, pop your knee in front of you, knee resting on the brick so you don't get too much twist through your back. So you're just basically trying to sort of get at the underneath leg. So I'm going to do it with my foot behind, toes up on the underneath leg. Press right out through the heel, just lifting and lowering the underneath leg. So lift and lower. So you're thinking of that big inner thigh muscle on the underneath leg. Nice and smooth. Clock ticking away. Otherwise, it's quite nice and peaceful. Thank you very much for joining me on this class. That's good. Great. Okay. Finish the one you're doing and then turn over onto the other side. So same again, underneath arm right up. Imagine you're lining yourself up against the wall. So you've got your arm, head, shoulders, bottom, feet, just in a straight line, and then bring the feet very slightly in front. Top hand really light. We're starting with the top leg, toes up towards you, press out through the heel as you come back down. Big gap between your ear and your shoulder. Very smooth. Side of the buttocks, side of the thigh doing the work. Good one to do, if you've got hip pain, knee pain, you want to really strengthen up this muscle here. It controls the angle that your knee is at when you put your foot down onto the floor. Lovely. Okay, and then we're doing the underneath leg. So either pop the top leg behind you, foot on the mat, knee pointing upwards, underneath leg straight, press right out through the heel. If that feels awkward, bring the knee in front, rest it on the brick. So underneath leg, inner thigh, toes up towards you, float the leg up and come down. Don't worry about how high you're going, because if you think about it, that muscle doesn't often have to work when you're crossing that leg over the central line, unless you're a footballer. So it just needs to be able to work sort of from where you're standing to slightly across in front of you. So 2-3 inches, a little bit more for some people, probably all you need to be lifting. Nice and slow, just getting that muscle working for a decent length of time. That's good. Starting to get cramped now. So finish the one you're doing. We're going to do front of the thigh, front of the hip stretch. So most people are better going onto your tummy. I know some of you prefer doing that stretch lying on your side. So if you prefer it on your side, stay on your side. Bring your heel up towards your bottom. Otherwise, most people roll over onto your tummy. Bend one leg up. Grab your ankle or your foot. If you can't reach anything, grab your trousers. If you haven't got your trousers on, you could cross your ankles over, push one leg up with the other one. So you're wanting to stretch front of the thigh and front of the hip. So think of pressing the front of the hip down into the mat. If it's burny, pins and needlesy, ease off it a little bit. Generally burning means you're stretching a nerve that's not terribly happy, so try and avoid doing that. Just think of breathing into that tightness. That's good. Okay, let that leg go. Swap legs. Probably want the chin tucking in, forehead on your hand or just on the mat, or head on one side if you're more comfortable like that. Avoid the sort of chin on your hands or on the mat, that just sort of really compresses the back of the neck there. So grabbing your foot, ankle, trousers, whatever you can reach, heel to your bottom, pressing the front of that hip down into the ground. That's great. Let that release. We're going to do the dart. So forehead on the mat or on your thin little book. Arms down beside you, palms facing the roof, legs together, chin tucking right in. So reach your hands to your feet, front of the shoulders away from the mat. Just hover the arms. So you can stick with that, or you could clench your bottom, Press the inner thighs together, press the heels together. Just float your forehead off the mat. So you're just floating there, hold there, keep breathing, and release down. Imagine a little ice cube between your lower tummy and the mat. So you just gently draw your tummy away from that to start. Reach your hands to your feet, open the shoulders, bottom inner thighs, heels. Hover. So your forehead is only coming a couple of inches, if that, off the mat. Hold there and release down. So just watch you're not holding your breath as you do it. If you're tempted to hold your breath, maybe whistle or hum or sing a little tune, count to 10 backwards, just to keep the breathing going. And release down. Nice one this. If you're getting a little bit round shouldered, a bit hunched, if you're spending a lot of time sitting over your computer, lots of gardening, that kind of thing, just want to get things pulling back the other way slightly. That's good. Okay, rest down. Bring your hands up. Maybe just gently give your bottom a wriggle from side to side. So you're just rocking the hips from side to side. Let the legs join in. See if you can let that come up your back a little bit. Just gentle rocking. Fantastic. Okay. We're going to do a diamond with the arms. So forehead on the mat, chin tucked right in. Make a diamond shape with your arms, fingertips touching above the top of your head. So forehead on the mat, elbows on the ground, fingertips touching. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Hands and forearms off the floor. Hold there and down slowly. So your head is staying on the mat. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. Hands and forearms off. So see if you can keep the angle of your wrist and forearm the same. A lot of times people tend to just take the wrist back. You don't want that. So hands and forearms staying at the same angle. Forearms just coming off the floor. Elbows staying stuck on the ground. So you're really working the back of the shoulder muscles there. Head staying down as well. So shoulders down, hands and forearms off. That's good. Nice one if you've got sore shoulders. Okay, just finish the one you're doing. Hands on the mat beside you. Come up onto hands and knees. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees under your hips. Chin tucking in, looking at a point on the mat just in front of you. Maybe just gently take your bottom from side to side. Sort of rocking the hips from one side to the other. Great, okay. Chin tucked right in. Back of the neck nice and long. Imagine you've got that book sitting on your bottom, or maybe a nice cup of coffee, glass of wine. Similar, keep that balance there. Slide one leg back, float it up, hold it there. Tummy gently engaged. Those who want to, you could then take the diagonal arm, float it out in front. Hold there. And everything comes down together. And going on the other side, so slide the leg back, let it float up. You can just stick with that, or you could add the diagonal arm coming out. Hold there. Keep the image of that cup of coffee, or you could put your yoga brick on your bottom or your book. So that's staying level. And everything down together. And going on the other side. Legs sliding back. Keep that feeling of really pressing the floor away from you. So leg up first. float the arm out. So don't worry how high you lift with the arm, it's just coming out in front of you. And coming down. And on the other side, float the leg, float it back, float it up, diagonal arm out. Hold there. That's lovely. Good for the arms, gets a little bit of weight going down through them. Good for the wrists, gets the wrists bending right back, which you want to keep that bit of movement. Lovely, toes together, knees apart, bottom just back to your heels. Creep the fingers a little bit further in front and then maybe shuffle your fingers over to the right edge of the mat. And just think of breathing into the left side of the ribs. And then shuffle your fingers over to the left edge of the mat. You can put your right hand on top of the left. Breathe into the right side of the ribs. Lovely. Come back into the middle. Turn back onto your back. Grab your band. We'll just do a hamstring stretch. So coming onto your back. Band underneath one foot. Remember, don't do this if you've got sciatic pain, or just go really easy with it if you've got sciatic pain. Slide the other leg down, press right out through the heel. So this knee is straight. Toes up towards you to get a little bit more stretch through the calf. You can just check your neck is released. Just gently roll your hip from one side to the other. Still got that little bit of a hollow in your lower back. So imagine you've got a couple of Maltesers or Rolos tucked in between your back and the floor. You're not pulling up so hard with the leg that you're squashing them. Maybe take a breath in as you breathe out. Just ease into that stretch. And let that go. Swap the band onto the other leg. So slide the one you've just stretched right down flat, toes up towards you, press out through the heel. Hanging onto the band, you've got your elbows on the mat. Nice and open across the collarbones. Should be a nice firm stretch down the back of the thigh. Again, if it's burny, pins and needles, come off it. That's good, great. Okay, let that release. Those of you who like using the brick, you might want to pause the video and do the block exercise now. Remember it's block, followed by rocking the knees, followed by the reverse curls. Otherwise, come slowly up into sitting. So either turn onto your side and come up, or hold behind the thigh, tuck the chin, gently roll up. Just do a stretch in sitting. So if you're a bit stiff through your back or your hips, you might want to pop yourself up on your brick or your book. Sit nice and tall, soles of the feet together. Let the knees just drop. So inner thigh stretch. Just see if you can really let them go. Sitting tall, so imagine that balloon from the back of your head taking you up towards the ceiling. Breathing down into the tummy, let the shoulders drop a little bit. That's good. Remember, if you've been exercising on the floor, try to always do something in sitting or kneeling before you stand up, just in case your blood pressure's dropped a little bit on the floor with these slow type exercises. You want to make sure you don't get a dizzy turn when you first get up. So do something in sitting if you're exercising on your own before you come back up into standing. Great. Okay, come up into standing slowly. Feet just about about hip width apart. Hands on the side of your thighs. Just do a side bend. So sliding one hand down the side of your thigh towards your knee. And coming back up. And sliding down the other side. And back up. So you could stick with that, or you could float one arm right up. Just about room in here to get my arm all the way to the roof. And up and over. Other hand going down the side. Bring the arm back towards the sky. Really lengthen through the arm as you come down. Other side. Thumbs going up. Float the arm up. If I stretch, I can almost touch the ceiling. Up and over. And all the way back up. Lengthen through the arm as you come down. Float the arm up and over. And down, and just one more on the other side. Thumb up, float the arm up and over. That's great, lovely. Bring the arm down, slide the shoulders up, and let them release. And again, slide up. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you again soon. Let the shoulders drop. There we go. Thank you. Bye.